So here we have a little MacBook. We're going to put our 18-volt charger here, turn it on, unplug the battery, and see how many amps are drawn. And it appears to be drawing 0.02 amps. 0.02 amps is indicative of a PM Sleep S4L failure. Absolutely, we're going to fix PM Sleep S4L, and we're going to do it live on stream, or I owe Paul another bike. So,
Oh, can you believe it? I'd take a bite.
but if I fix it, then Paul owes me what 40,000 shares of AGRX were worth just a few months ago. So, we're going to open all this up and get this PM Sleep S4L to work again. And it's still drawing 0.019 amps. That's no good. So we're going to go down our list of power rails and see which ones are not present and which ones are present. So now we got a green light, so our PP3V42 is going to be present. Next up, we're going to check our PP bus. 8 volts on one side. And 0 volts on the other. Could this just be a bad PP bus G3 hot fuse?
I always get that.
Wow, okay, 8.6 volts on one side of the PP bus G3 hot fuse, 0 on the other. There's a chance that this motherboard may be nothing other than a bad fuse.
Missing PM Sleep S4L.
Our fuse is indeed blown. Now let's see if there's a short to ground on the other side of the fuse. And there is. Okay, so our PP bus is shorted to ground. And when I say PP bus, let me show you what I mean by PP bus. If you look over here, the first power rail is our PP bus, which needs to be G3 hot. G3 hot means always on at all times. So it's a G3 hot rail, it should always be on, and that G3 hot rail is called PP bus. The chip that creates PP bus G3 hot is going to be U7100. U7100 is going to take voltage from the charger, up here, from adapter, and make it into 8.5 volts for the system. This here is the fuse between the side that creates PP bus G3 hot and the system. And on one side of the fuse, we get 8.6, and on the other 0. And the reason is because the fuse, as you can see when we put it into resistance measurement, has blown. Open line. And the reason it's blown is because there's a short circuit on one side of the fuse. So now we have to inject voltage and figure out what it is that's getting hot on this board. What is causing our short to ground? Now, very often on these MacBook Airs, what's causing the short to ground is a capacitor by the CPU V-core circuit. So I'm going to look in this area and see if any of these caps look suspect. And as you can see, there are capacitors here that have little solder balls next to them. That's just typical great Apple manufacturing quality. So, look at that. That cap has a solder ball next to it. This cap also has a solder ball next to it. And as Paul has noticed in some of these boards, many of them have little solder balls just running around. Even if one cap was bad, that wouldn't explain why numerous of them have solder balls running around. But go Apple. Great quality control. Manufacture different. Think different. If Paul's using the thermal cam, I will use the alcohol method, and the alcohol method will find the short just fine. Just you wait. I'm going to lower the voltage in the power supply down to 1 volt. So one end is going to have to go to ground. And the other end is going to go to our PP bus. Off, on. Hmm. Can I see thermal cam? Wow. How did I miss this? I'm not doing this because Union Repair paid me, I promise. I've shit on Union Repair enough, thermal camera enough times. Yeah, so I spend 10 minutes with alcohol. And now I just found it in a minute with this.
I told you alcohol wasn't gonna work.
It works every other time.
Sometimes.
I think my alcohol chops have gotten bad because I've been getting lazy and using this thermal camera.
The thermal camera's great.
Okay, so the thermal camera found a short that I couldn't. Happy?
It did.
Props where props is due. Yeah.
Alright. Go Union Repair.
Go Union Repair. I didn't get paid for that. I mean, I got the thermal camera for free, but I've been shitting on it for 6 months since I got it for free, so that doesn't really count. How many times have I shit on this thermal camera?
A lot.
Audience, yeah. You guys know who've been watching for a while.
It breaks all the time too. Power in.
Oh yeah, the power in jack on this sucks.
Oh, cool. This is interesting. What's the temperature of
Yeah, show the people. 189C. That's inaccurate. That's supposed to be 500C. Wait.
it? 190C is probably the limit
Oh, yeah.
of the camera. Yeah, if it's stuck at 190, it's not good.
I'm sorry, Union Repair, for saying that this thermal camera was a useless piece of shit. I apologize. I was wrong. This thing does have some uses after all.
The software, however,
The software, on the other hand, with it like
translated.
needs to be translated. Like this Chinese button over here.
At
You-
least the install needs to be translated.
Yeah, and the install. Come on, it's $900. But still, Union Repair, my apologies. I'm a moron. This is actually pretty decent after all. When you're wrong, you should say that you were wrong, and I was wrong. And I'm not eating your pizza.
Is this healthy though?
Just because you put a tiny bit of green shit on your pizza doesn't mean it's healthy. It's kind of cool to solder in the thermal camera. Yeah, instead of the microscope. Mobile Fix, I'm still adamant that this thing is very low resolution. What changes with this software is that when you click a button, it will show you what the absolute hottest point is and ignore everything else. So it's still low resolution, but that little feature in the software makes it more usable, so that you're not driving yourself nuts to figure out what exactly the hot thing is. So that takes the low resolution of the camera, but turns it into something that you can actually kind of work with.
But then again, you can actually you can have a source like so close to the actual temperature.
Yeah, it's not drawing anything. It's drawing 0.06. There's no more short. Short is gone. All right.
Wow, those pads are so perfectly rich.
There you go. Now we don't need a fuse anymore.
It's not like the fuse actually blows anyway, so.
Will MacBook fan spin? Okay, 18 volts. Green light. Fan spin! So it's fixed. It's fixed. So, that's it. thank you very much for watching. As always, I hope you learned something. We had a shorted cap on PPBus G3 Hot. I found it with the UnionRepair.com thermal imager. And my apologies for saying that that thing was useless. It's not useless, it's just vastly overpriced in my opinion. That's it for today, and as always, I hope you learned something.